This is Cato Weekly Video. How precisely does the marketplace compare to evolution? Author Michael Shermer shows how evolution and economics are both examples of a larger phenomenon of complex adaptive systems.
Given what we know about human nature, about our evolutionary past, our behavioral quirkiness and irrationalities, how should we structure society to best enable the spread of peace, prosperity, and freedom, and so forth, and liberty? What are the right circumstances that we should try to enable? And so to that extent, I begin with the mind of the market as a double entendre. That is, I think the market has a mind of its own. That's one way to use it. It's a bottom-up, self-organized system that operates without top-down intelligent design, if you will. Living along the Orinoco River that borders Brazil and Venezuela are the Yanomamo people, hunter-gatherers whose average annual income has been estimated at the equivalent of about $100 per person per year. If you walked into a Yanomamo village and counted up the stone tools and baskets, arrow points and arrow shafts, bows, cotton yarn, cotton and vine hammocks, clay pots, assorted other tools, various medicinal remedies, pets, food products, articles of clothing, and the like, you would end up with a figure of around 300. Before 10,000 years ago, this was the approximate material wealth of every village on the planet. If our species is about 100,000 years old, then 90% of our history has been spent in this state of relative economic simplicity. Living along the Hudson River that borders New York and New Jersey are the Manhattan people. Consumer traders whose average annual income has been estimated at $40,000 per person per year. If you walked into Manhattan Village and counted up all the different products available at retail stores and restaurants, factory outlets, and superstores, you'd end up with a figure of around 10 billion, as estimated by stock keeping units, SKUs, that retail measure by the barcodes. So this difference of 400 times in income and 33 million times in products almost beggars description. And this great leap forward did not happen gradually. It's been estimated that the $100 per person per year didn't rise to $150 per person per year until 1000 BC, about the time of the end of the Bronze Age and the time of King David. It did not exceed $200 per person per year until after 1750 and the onset in the Industrial Revolution. In other words, it took 97,000 years to go from 100 to 150 bucks a person a year. Then another 2,750 years to get to $200 per person per year, and finally 250 years to ascend to today's level of $6,600 per person per year for the entire planet. And as we just saw, an order of magnitude more for the wealthiest people in the richest nations. In other words, the age in which we live and take for granted is normal, and the way things have always been, in fact, constitutes a mere 1/4% of human history. The question is, how in the world did this ever happen? That's a weird thing to have happen. How can that happen? I began with complexity theory. That is, the market and economies are self-organized, emergent properties that come out of simpler systems without any top-down design. A multicellular life, the immune system, consciousness is probably best explained as a self-organized emergent property of 100 billion neurons firing in patterns emerges out of this, what we're doing now. Whatever it is we're doing. Thinking, talking, we're aware. Language is a self-organized, emergent, complex system. Nobody designed English 500 years ago to sound like it does now. You couldn't design that. And the legal system, the law system is a self-organized, emergent property, and the economy is. So what I'm trying to do is say that the notion of free market economics is one we're already familiar with if we can hook it to things we already know about. So I'm trying to convince my conservative friends that evolution, which they tend to be skeptical of, is just like that market economy stuff you already understand and like and accept. And to my liberal friends who completely accept evolution, you know that free market economy stuff you're skeptical of, look, it's just like the evolution stuff you fully accept.